Hey guys, midweek energy update as we move through this month of May 2024. What do we have going on out there? We are in some strange times this week. I will tell you that. We did have our once yearly Sun-Uranus conjunction happen on Monday the 13th. So we are in some very strong, prominent, dominant Uranian energy right now. And we're also in some very strong, prominent, dominant Taurian energy right now as well. Venetian energy, love and money, you guys, up for some type of change. That's what it's looking like this week. We have Mercury entering the sign of Taurus today. That's going to bring an energetic shift and really put even a stronger focus on the land and realms of everything Taurian, love, money, partnerships, business relationships, things to do with finance and economies, resources, land, food, comfort, luxury, pleasure, the projects that we're working on, what we're creating, what we're building, things to do with value, worth, and wealth in all of its forms, up for some type of change, some type of transformation, some type of shift or adjustment going on. I do feel like this is going to be something that is sort of building as we move through the week. There's also a very strong and palpable, probably, sense of magnetism or attraction or a pull towards something that has us in some way, and we can feel growing or building throughout this next couple days as well. We actually have 3 separate pairs of planets that are drawing into a conjunction in the sky right now, which will all come exact on the 18th. So between now and the 18th, like, things are trying to connect, things are trying to come into fruition, paths are trying to be aligned in a way that is actually part of a bigger plan, fate, destiny, divine alignment, divine intervention, all of that and more in the energy this week, you guys. Let's get into our report of the day. Let's talk about everything that we have playing out as we move through our week and what perhaps we can expect as we head towards the weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me till the end of this report, I have done a collective tarot reading for us as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality when I'm doing these overviews, just to get a holistic, energetic viewpoint of all that's playing out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We will do that at the end. Let's get right into the astrology. We have shifting vibes going on today, and change is the vibe generally, I feel like, right now, especially again in regards to like the foundations of things and what we're building and what we value and what we want and what we desire and what we're attracted to and what we want to create for ourselves moving forward. Taurus, Venus, Uranus, Aquarius, the combination of all of this energy is running the show right now. Jupiter is there sprinkling his magic growing powder on everything, supersizing and expanding. We've got Mars in the North Node building into a conjunction in the sky right now. Fated, destined actions, you guys. The pursuit of something that is honestly perhaps quite life-changing or transformative, specifically in regards to, again, value systems or finances or partnerships or what it is specifically that we are building moving forward. This is, I feel like, sort of the whole name of the game right now in terms of the phase that we are in and the page that we are on in the cosmic blueprint as it's unfolding. We have 5 planets starting today in the sign of Taurus. Mercury entering the sign of Taurus. Of course, Mercury is the messenger planet and it rules the mind and what we're thinking about, what's consuming our thought processes in the sign of Taurus. All the emphasis right now, honestly, is likely to be on, thinking about what we want to build, what we want to buy, what we want to grow, what we want to create, who we want, what we're attracted to, preferences, desires, values, and the changes that are happening in those regards and how it's altering really what we're building going forward. I feel like some of the like primetime major themes coming through this week. And as I mentioned in my intro, all week there's also this probably like building palpability in terms of a sense of anticipation in the air or feeling, drawn or pulled towards something, some type of magnetism or attraction that might be coming through, a building intensity perhaps, feeling like something is coming, something's about to happen, we're being called forward towards something. And if you are picking up on that, or if that is being reflected in your experiences, again, like it feels like this couple of days between the 15th and the 18th is about drawing things together, pulling things into closer connection, like getting certain paths to cross, you know what I mean? So that like some necessary action can take place. We have, as I said, 3 separate pairings of planets that will come into exact conjunction to the degree simultaneously on the 18th. Between now and then, those planets are just like drawing and pulling and, you know, coming closer and closer together. And since we're talking about personal planets, Sun, Venus, and Mars, and also, first of all, Jupiter and Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and then the North Node in the sign of Aries, these are blessed, necessary, and like fated occurrences that are going on. Like, I feel like something big is coming on or around the 18th, and you really may be picking up on that, or you may feel it building, or your experiences could like legitimately be reflecting some type of connection or magnetism or attraction that is pulling, or that is obvious, or that is like just coming into fruition somehow in the energy this week. The 18th should be a really crazy day, but between now and then, you know, you may just get the sensation something's coming, okay? And it looks like in the sign of Taurus, all these Taurus conjunctions, this big Taurus stellium right now as well, especially now that we've got Mercury entering the sign of Taurus, 5 planets in Taurus. Not only do we have Uranus and Venus coming together, Venus ruling Taurus this weekend, and the Sun and Jupiter and Mars in the North Node, but with 5 planets also in the sign of Taurus. 5 is a sign of, or a number of dynamic change. Uranus is a planet of dynamic change. The pairings, the conjunctions that we will have going on, I should mention those before I forget, will be the Sun and Jupiter coming together in Taurus. They will be Venus, ruler of the sign of Taurus, and Uranus, the galactic fixer, the great awakener, blessings in disguise, coming together in the sign of Taurus, and Mars, action, coming into alignment with the destiny point, fated actions, fated events playing out in the sign of Aries, which is Mars's home sign. We've got Venus in her home sign. We've got Mars in his home sign. There is such a potent, fertile, creative force that is represented in the energy field right now as well. Huge manifestation potential, but I'm telling you guys, like, we are building towards probably like some type of significant action or event that plays out, but it's, you know, very necessary. There's a huge element of like fate, destiny, and like the necessary things taking place in order so that like the proper outcomes can come into fruition. This is energy that is realigning paths in such a way to actually lead to some type of blessing, success, like beneficial outcome. It's very interesting because with Jupiter and the Sun there together, like there is something blessed. There is some like bearing of some type of fruit or some type of truth that will be beneficial as an outcome of whatever changes or transformations or actions or events or occurrences go on over this period of time. But with the Uranian and the Martian energy so strong as well, like it could also be like some type of like upset that like pushes us to do something that we like happen sort of impulsively, but then there's some type of positive, beneficial or successful outcome that like frees us from something somehow. That's sort of the vibe that we're dealing with, although with Uranus and Venus ruling the position of Jupiter and the Sun in their conjunction, also of course Mercury right now, and coming into the conjunction with Uranus like is really, really hard to call. This could be some really sudden, shocking, unexpected things, probably having to do with relationships, probably having to do with finances. I'm telling you guys, these love and money themes, these Taurian like archetype themes, everything to do with the Taurus vibe, very highlighted right now, particularly though the love romance dimension of things. There could be romance in the air, partnerships, relationships, pursuing desires, sensuality, beauty, indulgence, very prominent focuses, draws, experiences right now that could be happening. We actually, even on Friday, aside from all the Taurian energy, not Friday, Aubrey, Wednesday, on Wednesday, we have the Sun at 26 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a Spaniard serenading his senorita. And then we have Jupiter at 28 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a woman pursued by mature romance. So I'm definitely getting like some pretty big themes of love, romance, partnership, maybe even like marriage or commitment, investments, pursuing desires. There could be like a lot of people like randomly popping the question this week, and it could go really well. Also though, money, wealth, abundance, material possessions, values, valuables. I would expect a lot of people to be buying a lot. I think that a lot of like this month is probably going to be good for the economy on some level. A lot of people are going to be spending money and consuming a lot. Big purchases, investments, commitments, deals, partnerships, agreements going on with this very strong, dominant Taurian energy playing out. Things also to do with, of course, projects, resources, supplies, land, food, agriculture, also technology, innovation, maybe like things to do with forward momentum as well, because of the Uranian influence that is also very prominent, dominant in the sign of Taurus, coming into a conjunction with Venus as well. But lots and lots of growth, potential for growth, big growth, beyond expectation growth, successful growth, and again, this like forward momentum, this pull towards something that could be taking place this week. And it is in divine alignment. If you're wondering, divine intervention, I think, could be something that we're seeing on more of a collective level this week as well. Let's specifically talk about some of the other energy that we have going on Wednesday, you know, as we hit the midpoint of our week. Just before Mercury leaves Aries and enters the sign of Taurus on Wednesday, the moon transiting through Leo will form a trine in fire signs with Mercury in the sign of Aries, 29 degrees of Aries, again, before he makes that shift. There could be something that is like firing us up. We could feel very inspired or passionate or like mentally energized. This is a very creatively inspired flow that could be coming through to start the day on Wednesday. Maybe some idea that's driving us to take some type of action or to initiate something, perhaps. Motivation and creativity definitely coming through with this. And then as we move through the day, Mercury will enter the sign, leave Aries and enter the sign of Taurus, and this will put all of this mental emphasis on these Taurian themes, the mind on my money type of vibes for sure. How can I get it? What can I do with it? How can I enjoy it? And this is just like a very sensory energy, right? Thinking about what we want to experience physically primarily, and you know, how it will taste, how it will smell, how it will look, how it will feel. Very heavy on the romance and spending money on experiences, on indulgences, on pleasures, or on technology also, with the Uranian influence so strong right now type of vibes. But I also want to say, remember you guys, Taurus is a fixed sign, and what has been happening recently when all of these personal planets have been entering Taurus as we've been moving into Taurus season, well, what's been happening is they've been coming up against a fixed square with Pluto retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and Mercury is no exception to that. As Mercury enters the sign of Taurus on Wednesday, he also therefore is going to begin a square with Pluto, who's currently at 2 degrees retrograding through the sign of Aquarius. So this is like powerful interactions, conversations that could be going on, information that could be coming to us somehow, some like level of awareness that we're gaining. This could also be things to do with like the subconscious mind, or powerful influences that we're becoming aware of somehow, things that have been going on, you know, in the shadows or behind the surface of things, and transformations that are happening in regards to actually like how we're perceiving our own value and our own potential, but also what we're thinking about in the context of what we want, our preferences and our values and our desires and what we're attracted to. Although there is this very dominant focus on what it is that we want, with Mercury first thing entering Taurus and immediately hitting a square to Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, what we want to build and create in the context of how we are going through some very deep internal changes and changing our mind and changing our ideas about what it is that we want, what it is that we prefer, what it is that we value, and what we want to build and create moving forward. Yeah, so as Mercury enters the sign of Taurus, this does put the mental emphasis on what we want to create, what we want to build, what we want to experience, what we want to produce. But there's also a level of like inner transformation that is likely to be associated with that, whether it be in regards to our own self-perception or in terms of our perception of what is truly valuable to us at this point in time. So there is that as well. And of course, Mercury Pluto squares, again, like it can bring some really intense conversations, powerful interactions, like debates and arguments that are like really powerful or transformative in nature somehow, some type of information that maybe has some type of transformative effect, finding out also like secrets or things that have been hidden that present some type of challenge that we need to like recalibrate our mind to overcome somehow, and then like the subconscious dimension and layer of things as well. So any of that type of stuff, just maybe also having some like some deep thoughts. That could also be something that comes with the Mercury Pluto square that is going on. But later in the day on Wednesday, the moon will leave the sign of Leo as well and enter Virgo. Okay, we are in like super earth energy later in the day on Wednesday and into Thursday, with 5 Taurus planets, Jupiter and the Sun coming together there, Venus there, Mercury there, and also the moon now in the sign of Virgo. Like this is big time earth energy. Be productive, you guys. This is very powerful. Like get things done with a successful outcome, successful result, better than you would have anticipated. Good results coming from our effort and what we are putting our time and energy into building, into creating right now. Successful growth, good fortune in our endeavors to grow, cultivate, create, or relate. Also, as I was saying, like there could be a very commitment, investment oriented nature to like new partnerships or new connections or things that are being drawn together right now. Real interesting. Also, all week as the sun draws into a closer conjunction with Jupiter, this is one of the most like jovial times of year. Hope, optimism, faith, trust, confidence, feeling a bit larger than life, feeling like we can do it. Don't take things over to the top this week. That is likely to be one of the manifestations of this energy. Be careful with all of the overs, especially in terms of like the 3D world and like the sensory realms of things, overindulging, overspending, overeating, like all that type of stuff. Like things taken to excess can be probably a greater than normal likelihood right now as well. But, you know, just like an enhanced level of belief that things are going to be okay, that I can do it, people generally being in a good mood. This is a great freaking week. You want to know what you guys should do this week? If you're in this type of situation and you need to, you should ask for a raise. You should ask for a promotion, ask for a favor. Financial favors especially likely to go like in your favor. You're likely to get whatever it is that you're asking for or you're desiring, just because people are likely to be in a more gregarious, like giving mood because of the prominent Jupiterian influence that we have going on right now. It could be also shocking. Like there could be like shocking windfalls or shocking financial gifts or shocking relationship connections, like shocking like miracles or blessings or like strokes of luck or good fortune that are coming through right now with the Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, Sun, all in the sign of Taurus energy happening. There's also, you know, the huge emphasis, of course, on money, work, productivity, the material world, romance, sensuality, indulgence, also like fashion, art, and beauty, stuff like that. Great time for a makeover, but also really good for business. What we're producing, what we're building, what we're working on. And if you can, enjoy the energy of this week, because it really is giving some good vibes, especially as we hit the midpoint of the week and move towards the weekend. Things are probably going to get quite weird. Again, like it feels like there's something big coming. They're probably going to get a little weird as we move towards the weekend, and we have these 3 big conjunctions come into effect on the same day. And it's not just that, like we also have a black moon conjunction in Virgo happening that day, and Mercury will be an exact square to Pluto, like at the Chiron point that day. When I was doing my monthly overview, the 18th was like sticking out like a sore thumb at me with like flashing lights. Like this is a day where there just could be something happening. So on or around the 18th, something big could be going on. And of course, if you are a Taurus and you do have primary planets anywhere really in the last 10 degrees of the sign of Taurus, you are in the epicenter of this energy. Or if you have planets in fixed signs, or if you have planets in earth signs, then you are in this energy by square or by trine. So it may be more noticeable in your experience, but we're likely to see something playing out like on a world stage type of situation that is in some way reflective of these transits that are playing out as well. And again, I need to state, you know, this is divine timing. Like this is a week of things happening according to like a necessary path of progression, okay? Mars, action, energy, behavior, what we're doing, the events that are actually playing out in his home sign of Aries with the North Node. You know, this is sort of like a ravenous energy. The North Node itself, known in Vedic astrology as Rahu, the head of the dragon, sort of like this uncontrollable compulsive pull forwards towards something, like this insatiable appetite to go after something. And then in the sign of Aries with Mars there, it is also like this burning desire, but it's also the destiny point. It's also the next phase of like collective growth and evolution. Even if things, you know, even if it's happening through conflict, even if it's happening through maybe destruction or battle fights that are happening, like the more fiery exposés of the Aryan energy, or if it's simply the actions that we're taking, the energy that we're putting into things, whatever, or it could also represent masculine energy generally being at the right place at the right time to perform some type of action that is part of some greater unfolding process underway. But whatever is happening right now, and Uranus too, with Venus and Uranus together, it's the masculine and the feminine, right? We've got the masculine with the destiny point, and then we've got the feminine with the galactic fixer that puts things right. Things are being realigned so that a necessary progression and path can take place to lead to some type of process of growth and evolution somehow in alignment with true, authentic value and potential. Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So that's really what I have to say about the energy for today and tomorrow, midweek this week, you guys. Of course, you'll want to come back for the report this weekend because we're going to get all into the crazy alignment that we have going on the 18th with all of these conjunctions and the lunar placement and Mercury's placement as well. Very, very interesting way that we have energy building right now and coming together. So we'll be doing that in the next video. Let's get into the tarot reading now. We have a pretty straightforward message that is coming through in the context of the tarot cards. It has a lot to do. We had the Strength card that came out first, and then we had the Seven of Wands, and then we had the Moon in reverse. We had the King of Cups on the back of the deck, and as I just pulled the cards over to me, I also saw the Sun and the World that came out underneath. Really, what I feel like this is saying is trying to help us gain an awareness of where our own fears, perhaps like of the unknown, things that have been going on within our own unconscious or subconscious mind have been stealing our power and have been holding us back and have been preventing us from believing in ourselves and being able to find maybe like the strength and the courage and the assertiveness that we need to like move forward, to stand in our power, and to maybe like end some type of cycle that was blocking a process of growth that we have been working or moving towards for a while. This is talking about, this energy generally, I feel like is talking about what we need to do or what we need to gain an awareness of, or what has been going on that has been hidden from us on some level that has actually contributed to an inability to be in a state of like emotional self-empowerment or regulate our emotions in some type of a way that has been diminishing our ability to actually grow and keeping us trapped in some type of perpetuating cycle somehow. And it seems to be all about what we are gaining awareness of, like what we are shining the light on, what we're discovering in the darkness, which does make sense. I mean, this Seven of Swords, that's the air, that's the mental energy, right? That's Mercury. And we're talking about the moon in reverse forming the square to Pluto. It's like, what are we unearthing? Like, what are we like finding in the shadows? Like, what boogeymen did we think were out there that we were like surrendering power to, or we not like taking control of our lives or like stepping into our own power because, you know, we were afraid of maybe some unknown, like I said, or we thought there was like some monster under the bed or something that like wasn't actually there, but we're only coming to figure that out and discover it now. But in the meantime, you know, when we had been maybe trapped in this lack of awareness, it was preventing, again, like a process of growth somehow, or just like keeping us trapped in some type of a cycle. But this is also like deception, right? Like this is things, it could be like things that people have done that we didn't know about, that we're finding out about, and like as a result of that, we're finding the strength and the courage and the assertiveness to like take back our emotional power somehow, or come to a place of like emotional self-empowerment where we are ready to move forward, we are ready to work on something new, we are ready to go through this process of growth that is no longer like beholden to maybe those things that we feared in the past. I don't know, this seems to be a removal of fears or a removal of unknown circumstances that had been creating a mental conflict, or that had been stealing mental power or distorting our perception in such a way, like brainwashing us in terms of our own weakness. You know what I mean? Like that's what this energy feels like. Like we may have, or even like caused us to self-sabotage in certain ways because we were unaware like of something that was keeping us in a cycle that was detached from standing in our power and, you know, feeling like we have the strength and the capability to move forward with something. It's all about like unleashing our inner lion, like letting our light shine, and what darkness we have to overcome. The moon in reverse, like the light that shines, right? And the Seven of Swords that had been manipulating us or stealing our power or confusing us somehow, that was keeping us trapped from being able to see who we really are. So I feel like that's the way the tarot message is coming together, which, you know, makes a lot of sense in the context of the astrology as well. Let's get one more card now, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe, let's get a synchronicity card. What's a final piece of guidance or advice that can help us as we move through the week? What do we need to know? It says seek the spirit, you guys. So that's what we're doing this week. Seek the spirit. There is no power but of God. Romans 13:1. When you have a problem, become aware of the power of God to help you. There is no power but that of God. Seek the spirit of God within you. Do not give power to others to affect you or the situation. Know that God is there for you, already solving this problem. Find joy in your heart with this knowledge. God is there for you. There is no problem that God cannot handle. So we are surrendering the burden to the divine. We are trusting that things are unfolding according to a higher plan. Like I've said this entire time, divine intervention, divine alignment, divine timing. Seek the spirit. That's the message of the week, you guys, of the midweek at least. And that's what I have to say. Message from the stars, message from the cards. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for your presence here. What you have to say is very meaningful to me. I really value your experiences and what you leave in my comment section. If you are encountering situations that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below, and come back with, oh, and if you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I also have a Facebook group that is linked in my description box below where I post pictures of these boards. So that's where you can find that. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. As I said, we have a big weekend of astrology to talk about, and I'm going to be here to do it. 3 conjunctions going on, plus moon placements that are very interesting as well. Probably just an interesting weekend. So I'll be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time. Everybody have a beautiful midweek, and until then, bye guys.